What is good, everybody? How is everybody doing? Hopefully you've all been having a good day, enjoying the World Cup. I've been loving it. A lot of upsets though, and to be fair, I think a lot of people are struggling. I'm assuming a lot of you had some Spanish players and they didn't do particularly well, did they? Spoiler alert if no one knows the results for that. Hopefully the audio sounds good. I have tried some filters on the audio, so hopefully you guys won't actually be getting all the noise from my laptop. It's also further away. I've now got a brand new keyboard and mouse in front of me, so I'm just literally in front of my screen, and hopefully the audio is good. So let me know in the chat. Also, what is everybody drinking? I'm drinking pear cider because it's what I've got in the flat, and to be honest, the audio sounds decent on my iPad. That can get chucked away. I can plug myself back into the laptop so I can hear the Croatia-Denmark game in the background, just in case something happens, although I'm sure you guys will let me know. And yeah, let me know in the chat how you guys have been doing in World Cup fantasy football. As you can see, everything to do with mine from about 7 o'clock today is there on the screen. I'm doing okay, but I'm not exactly setting the world alight, to be fair. At the moment, I am, well, before this game ends, because I've got Modric, I'm on 177 points. My rank is 17,745, but at the moment I've got 6 points from the knockout stages, and I did okay during the round stages. 46 points, 78, and then 51. A lot of rotation affected me in the third group of fixtures in the group stages. In the UK, I'm 3,874th, and in England, I'm 4,088th. I'm not sure how that works. I'm lower in England than I am in the UK, which I thought wouldn't be the case, but never mind. Also, Fantasy iTeam, I'm doing even worse on Fantasy iTeam. A lot of transfers have gone very wrong for me, so I can imagine that a lot of people are actually struggling for points. Just some acknowledgement to the people already in the chat. We've got Matthew Berry, thank you so much for joining. We've got Lewis Jackson, Tommy P, John Narty as well, Florence Sandu, Emmanuel Bayou, TP Football Analysis, Shashank Bandari, Tommy P, and Jeff Holt. Great to see you guys here, considering that I think a lot of people have given up on World Cup fantasy football, because it's a lot more, it's a different beast, isn't it, than Fantasy Premier League. A lot quicker, which is why I have no graphics ready for today, because every time I do any graphics, the next day they're out of date. So I'm giving up on trying to do content. I'm just going to stream, chat to you guys about it. So let me know what your ranks are. Any questions you have, of course, put them in the chat as well, and I'll do my best to answer them, and hopefully kind of try and predict the way this is going to go. Because, to be honest, everyone's saying it's coming home, and all the big teams are falling out. So far in the round of 16, Argentina have been knocked out by France. To be honest, that one was a bit of a coin toss, so I could see both France and Argentina winning that one. Argentina are out, Messi is gone. Uruguay, Portugal, again, I saw that game as a potential coin toss of a game. I did go with some Uruguay defenders because I thought they might keep a clean sheet, but there was always a chance Portugal go through. They didn't. Edison Cavani putting in a great performance in that game, and Mbappe for France putting in a great performance as well. And then, of course, we had Spain-Russia early today, went to penalties. Russia won 4-3 on penalties. I was at work, so I didn't see the game, but I did see the penalties. And, yeah, De Gea didn't save any. And Akinfeev saved 2. So Akinfeev is the hero in Russia right now. And, of course, Croatia-Denmark right now is 1 apiece. Although Rakitic came very, very close just then, and it is almost full time. So that one could be going to extra time and penalties as well. As far as what I think could happen in the next fixtures, tomorrow we have Brazil-Mexico. I'm looking forward to that one, being part Brazilian. Going to watch that at my parents' house with my mum, who is the Brazilian one of my parents. If the way this World Cup's going, Mexico could very well win this one, though. So I know a lot of people probably have Brazil players. Coutinho, very popular. Neymar, Jesus. I think, personally, Coutinho is the best option into that Brazil side. Mexico do have the likes of Lozano, Vela, and Javier Hernandez, Leun. Lots of options there. Ochoa has done very well as well. So it'll be interesting to see who goes through in that one, because they'll go up against the winners of the game later on in the day, which is Belgium versus Japan. Belgium should walk away with that one. But again, this World Cup hasn't been predictable. But it looks like if you load it up on Belgians, you may be laughing this World Cup fantasy football game. I do have Lukaku though, so hopefully, fingers crossed, Lukaku at least comes in with some big points. But I think a lot of people are going to own Lukaku. We then have, of course, Tuesday games. Sweden and Switzerland, massive game. We will be facing the winners of that game. I'd probably, when I say we, I mean England. If we do beat Colombia, I'm hoping for Sweden. I think Switzerland have a bit more about them attacking-wise. I think both are pretty solid defensively. And then England-Colombia, depends which Colombia turn up. If the good Colombia turn up, we may be another casualty of this World Cup. But I think this is the true test. This will show us what England are truly made of in this World Cup. So players I would look at for the quarterfinals, Mbappe would be one I'd be looking to bring into my side. I fancy France against Uruguay. As far as Spain-Russia, I reckon Russia, if Croatia win, you're looking at Modric, Rakitic, Mandzukic. And if Denmark win, Eriksen's the only real one you'd look at there. As far as for Russia, Cheryshev didn't start as far as I'm aware today. So Golovin looks the safest bet into that side. So potentially looking at him. Some cheap options, of course, in that Russian side. And then it's hard to predict what else would happen. I'd assume Brazil go through. I'd assume Belgium go through. So Brazilian and Belgians would be safe. Then I reckon whoever wins out of England, Colombia could beat whoever wins out of Sweden, Switzerland. So maybe look at bringing them in. But we've only, I think it's 4 transfers for the quarterfinals. A lot of us could be in trouble and maybe needing to use some -4s to actually make our teams full. So that is kind of my look at the knockout stages. I think those of us who loaded up on teams we thought would go through are really, really struggling right now. Okay, so tweeted out the stream again. Of course, do like and share the stream yourselves. Get as many people in here as possible. Get them to join Team Flock. Okay, I muted you, so I don't know why you've come back on. So let's get to the chat. Matthew Berry saying, what's up? What's up, Matthew? Thank you again for being one of the first in the stream. Some of the rest of you may have to pick your game up if you're going to want to be the first in the stream. Matthew is on it every single time. Thank you so much for the support, Matthew. Lewis Jackson, all big teams flopping, Croatia included. To be honest, Croatia-Denmark wasn't necessarily a tie where I was looking at Croatia thinking they will definitely win. So, to be fair, I personally think that Denmark never were like complete underdogs in this one. So I wouldn't see it as a massive upset, not the likes of Russia, Spain. So, and I think a lot of people, you need to remember Uruguay do have a very good side. They're good defensively and they have some good attacking players. So for me, the upset really was Russia and Spain. That's the only massive upset that I've seen so far. Okay, that is actually starting to get... For some reason, ITV player just keeps popping back up with the audio. So I'm going to cut that off for now. Tommy P, how are you doing? John Narty says, crap week. He's not having the greatest week. If you're talking World Cup fantasy football, I think you're in the same boat as a lot of us. If you're talking something else, sorry to hear that, John. It is just the start of the week, though, if you're talking about actual real life. Although, I suppose next week is the start of the real. I'm used to an American calendar now because of the company I work for. So they do a fiscal year. The week starts on Sunday, and I'm getting too used to it. Lauren Sandu, how you doing? Emmanuel Bayou, I did cover my team, but again, just for clarity's sake, 17,745th is my rank on 177 points. I do have Modric. I've not really had anyone score decent points. My highest scorer is Muslera from Uruguay with 3 points. I do have Jan Sommer I could bring in, but I've played bench boost, so I don't need to bring anyone in. I did actually sub out Varela from Uruguay for Claesson from Sweden, but again, I didn't need to do that. I've got bench boost active. I'm not sure bench boost is really going to help me that much this game week though, so yeah, it's not looking great, I think, but the fact that my rank hasn't dropped significantly means I think a lot of people aren't doing too great at the moment. TP, after Spain went home, could football come home? To be honest, the fact that we now can only face Russia, Croatia, Denmark, Sweden, Switzerland, and Colombia, of course, is our next opponent. If you'd have said that to me at the beginning, I'd have taken it straight away. But let's remember, Russia have looked decent at times. Croatia have looked decent at times. Denmark are okay. Switzerland did well in a group that also had Brazil in it. Colombia, yes, they did badly against Japan, but they had someone sent off and a penalty very early in the game. Otherwise, Colombia have looked decent. So I definitely think football has probably never looked as likely to come home as it does right now. My only downside, and this is going to sound really pessimistic to some people, is we beat Panama and Tunisia. The Belgium game in my mind doesn't count because we both played weak sides and we only lost 1-0, but we both played our second string in effect. This Colombia game will tell me if I believe it can come home, and of course it kind of would anyway, because if we lose, we're out anyway, so it can't come home. But if we have a good performance against Colombia, I can see us beating any team in our side of the knockout stage, going all the way to the final. And as far as final opponents go, we can get Uruguay, France, and then it's Brazil, Mexico, Belgium, Japan. If there's another upset in those two games, Belgium, Japan, Brazil, Mexico, then you're looking at us playing France, Uruguay, Brazil, Belgium in the World Cup final if we got there. On our day, potentially we could get a result against any of them. So I'm very hopeful that we have a really good tournament, which would be great, which would be fantastic. And extra time has started, so let me put the volume back on. Let me turn it down a bit. So yeah, football could come home. It's never looked as likely as it does right now. Shashank Bandari, how you doing? How you going? How you going? Or how you doing? Jeff Holt, what's up? On the shandy, Maria on the wine. Maria seems the more hardcore right now, Jeff. Oh, okay, Jeff, corrected me already in the chat. So a lot more people support England than people that live in the UK. I get it. Thank you, Jeff, for he's given up on the World Cup game, but he's here to support me, which is appreciated because it's going to be a struggle to get people to view these streams right now. But I promise you guys regular streams. They've not been as regular as I'd like just because I didn't really judge how hard it would be to get ideas and content ready for videos and streams during the World Cup, just because it's so constant. But thank you, Jeff, so much for supporting the flock, supporting the stream. Tommy P, can't wait for the new FPL season. I am probably going to start next week working on my FPL content. Probably no 30 days of FPL, purely because I do have a newborn. So yeah, just when she's like a bit older, potentially I could get that work done again, but I doubt I'll be able to get that amount of work done regularly where I get a video up for 30 days before the season starts. But I will get up as much content as I can going into the FPL season. Maybe plenty of streams as well, just because it's slightly easier for me to do. Shashank is 14th in our league. Shall we actually have a look at my league? I know you can't see it, but I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to show my league or the actual site on the stream, so that's why it's not there. I'm actually 18th in my own league, which isn't too bad. You've got Lomis, Bernard Panthers on 203 points, 33 points for this group, this round of games. So that is very, very impressive. Maybe he should be joining this stream and telling us how to play this game. We've got anyone that I recognise. If your team is anywhere in this mini league, let me know. Shashank 12, Diabolic Fighters, 180 points. I see you there. That's a decent score at the moment. It is hot in this room as well. I think next investment into my streaming equipment should most likely be some sort of fan. Now that I think I've got the audio pretty nice. I think when I stop talking, you shouldn't hear all that fuzz that you used to hear. And I've now got this mouse and this keyboard, which is separate from my laptop. I haven't taken the plastic off yet because I didn't know if I was taking it back. But yeah, it's nice now that I think I'm further away from my laptop, so the audio is decent. 1 second. Okay, so I'm doing well in my fantasy football team competition. I have England, Belgium, Sweden, and Croatia. That is not bad. That is pretty impressive. Decent teams to have. I bet a lot of people thought they had decent teams and they've been knocked out now, though. Like people that had Germany in their sweepstakes were probably over the moon. And yeah, they're probably not anymore. I apologise for the pause. Just quickly answer an important message on my phone. Okay, so Colombia, Sweden, Russia, then Mexico in final. That would be the strangest run into a final I think you could have predicted for England. See FPL Nimfria in the chat, by the way, which reminds me, fingers crossed, everything goes according to plan. We should be streaming tomorrow for the FPL Wildcats channel. Probably a bit more just chatty, a bit like this one. Purely again because it is so hard to fit the streams in when the football is so consistent. I mean, everyone's watching the Denmark-Croatia game, so that's probably why I'm hitting around 10 views concurrently. We've got a team analysis as well. We've got my team as Muslera. Good pick, I think. Schmeichel, again, decent pick. Grandfist, I like. Cedric, he's going to have to be transferred out. Stones, Lichtsteiner, Arias, Honda, Cheryshev, Rakitic, Coutinho, Shaqiri, Lozano, Kane, and Lukaku. Who's transfer and captain choice? I can't answer that until all the games have been played. But right now, your team looks pretty strong purely because I don't see a ton of players that will need to be transferred out. So if people have played their wildcard already, you could benefit next round because your team will still have a full 11. whereas other people may not. I've used my wild card, so potentially I could be suffering if a lot of my players get knocked out. So far, right now, I have Diego Costa out, I have Isco out, and that's it. So only 2 at the moment, which is decent. Jan Sommer will probably... I've got Denmark players, so... Is he Denmark? Am I being silly? No, he's Switzerland. I've got Dalsgaard, so he could go out, and I've got Modric. So I could have 3 players out after this game. I will have 3 players out after this game. So I've got 4 transfers. So I need things to go my way in the next couple of fixtures, or I will struggle to field a full side. If England go out, I've got 3 England players. If Belgium go out, I only lose 1. So yeah, the worst case scenario for me would be England going out. Then potentially Brazil. I've got 2 Brazilians as well. So it's all about who goes out. At the moment, Cedric does need to be changed for you. But other than that, you're looking pretty strong with that team. By the way, Nim, let me know what you think of the audio. I used the filters you told me about, so it should sound nicer. You shouldn't hear my fan going nuts. Evan J. Fox, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat. My thoughts on the Spain-Russia game, I didn't see it, but what I read on Twitter was it was really boring. And then Russia won the penalty shootout. I saw the penalty shootout. That was interesting. Apparently there was something that happened near the end of the normal time of the game where VAR messed up or something like that. So I haven't seen it myself, though. Miguel Miranda, Portugal get knocked out of the World Cup, so all my focus goes to fantasy now. Fantasy makes it interesting when your team goes out. That is the one plus. I'm fortunate to have England and Brazil, so if one goes out, I can support the other, although I am England first. World Cup prediction. Right now, the way France played, the way Mbappe played, I like the look of France. Do I see Russia going all the way? I doubt it. I doubt it. Brazil have got the job done, despite maybe not performing how they were expected to. Belgium definitely look good. I would say, and this is me being as realistic as possible, you're looking at France, Brazil, or Belgium. Then my next picks would be Uruguay and England. So that is how I see the World Cup going at the moment. Miguel Miranda, if it goes to pens, we will be watching it live together. That'll be an interesting one. Colin Barker, could you come back with the statistics of best attacking defenders? Because from here on out, there aren't many clean sheets. That is a great point, Colin Barker. Right now, if you're trying to pick out clean sheets, you look like you're wasting your time. I've made some money betting on both teams to score in a couple of games. So, defenders with goal threat. So, at the moment, and I'm going to have to filter through this because there are defenders in this list that are out. Granfist, Stones, and Mina are the 3 defenders with 2 goals each. They are all still in the tournament, so keep an eye on whether they stay in the tournament. Thiago Silva has 1. Augustinson has 1. Jimenez has 1 from Uruguay. You've got Pavard from France. What a goal he scored in the Argentina game. You've got... Those are the highest ones there that are still in the tournament. But as far as attempts on goal, Leun, he's not a defender in the game. He's a defender on this research, but he's not in the game. So, Granfist has 6 attempts on goal. That's the highest of any defender still in the tournament. Stones has 5. Thiago Silva has 5. Caceres looks very good in the Uruguay game. He's had 4. Lucas Hernandez has had 4. Salcedo has had 4 from Mexico. So those are the best as far as attempts on goal. As far as shots on big chances, Stones has had 3 big chances, the most of any defender in the tournament so far. Granfist has had 2. Caceres has had 2 from Uruguay as well. So it's looking very good for Caceres. Granfist if Sweden stay in it, and Stones if England stay in it. They are looking head and shoulders above the rest as far as the chances they get and the amount they've scored. On target, Stones and Grandfist have had 3 shots on target apiece. So they are looking very, very good. Where is... Caceres hasn't had many shots on target. So if you eliminate Caceres, you're now looking at Stones and Grandfist. As far as distribution, who's going to get some assists as defenders go? If we look at assists, no one stands out for assists. You've got a lot of defenders on 1 assist. Still in it, you've got Alderweireld from Belgium. You've got Mario Fernandez from Russia. You've got Lucas Hernandez from France. Kutupov from Russia, probably butchered that. Maguire from England. You've got Meunier from Belgium. Nagatomo from Japan. Trippier from England as well. Chances created. Trippier has the most chances created out of any defender still in the tournament with 7. You've then got Marcelo with 5. If he is playing, I think he is. Lustig from Sweden on 5 as well. Grandfist has 4 chances created, which helps his case as well as his goal threat. Ricardo Rodriguez with 4 chances created. And that's it, really. Big chances created. Again, 1s all over the place. So I'd say you're looking at Trippier. You're looking at Grandfist. Maybe Ricardo Rodriguez. And John Stones, definitely for goal threat. John Stones and Grandfist are head and shoulders above the rest as far as goal threat. Then maybe Trippier. That would probably be the way I'd look. Doubling up on England defence isn't something I thought I'd be suggesting in the World Cup, though. Aiton, how you doing? Who should I consider transferring in for the Spanish players? Costa, Isco, Piqué. I mean, again, it's hard to answer because I don't know who's through yet. But if I actually look at the teams that are through, like I said, Uruguay, you've got Caceres, you've got Cavani if he's not injured, but he might be out of the tournament. I worry about Uruguay without Cavani because he looked very good in that game against Portugal. Other than that, Bentancur did get an assist. Suarez looked decent. Any Uruguay defender looks like a decent pick. Varela, unfortunately, didn't play, so I'd maybe avoid Varela. But Jimenez and Godin look nailed on, so they'd be the safe bets into that defence. As far as France, really like the look of their fullbacks, Pavard and Hernandez. Pogba was playing very well in a 3-man midfield. Mbappe, Griezmann looked dangerous as well. So those are the French players I'd look at. Russia, Cheryshev not starting was a bit of a worry for me. It maybe seems like they might be playing a bit more defensively now they're in the knockout stages. So is it Daizuba would be the Russian player I would go for. And then for the teams that we don't know yet, Croatia, Denmark, Eriksen's really the only one I look from Denmark. Except for Dalsgaard is a cheap way into their defence. Croatia, Modric, Busalko as a right back looks decent. Rakitic looks okay. Mandzukic looks alright. Sweden, Switzerland. Klaassen actually looks really good in the Swedish midfield. You've then got Grandqvist, which I've already mentioned. Switzerland, Shaqiri, Desmele. I did shout out Desmele on the last stream, and he's done well recently. I think he got some points in the final game of that group. Brazil, Mexico, Coutinho, Neymar, Jesus. Paulinho looks like a cheap way into that Brazil midfield. The defence looks alright. Miranda looks nailed on, so I'd probably stick with Miranda as far as that goes. Alisson in goal. Mexico, you've got attacking options there, and Ochoa. Maybe I wouldn't go for defence there, just because they may struggle to keep clean sheets moving forward. Belgium, you could probably pick anyone in that Belgium 11 and be alright. But Lukaku, Hazard, look the best options attacking-wise for me. Mertens looks like the cheap way into that attack. Defensively, I think you could pick any of their defenders and be pretty sorted. Japan, I'm assuming, will go out. And then Colombia, England, Stones, Trippier, Maguire. Their defence looks very, very good. Loftus-Cheek has looked good, hasn't got the points. Lingard potentially could carry on his from his goal scored in the second game against Panama. And then Kane is a great choice for anyone. Colombia, Rodriguez and Quintero are the ones that have stood out for me stats-wise. And then Mina is a defender that's looked decent. Ospina has been getting people points as well. Evan J. Fox, we could definitely see a small country win the World Cup. I look forward to it, in fact. Nimfria with the question, how are you finding the format of the game? I like it. If you're talking about the World Cup fantasy football game, I like it. I like being able to change captains. I do like the fast pace of it, but it's really hard to make content for. But I do enjoy the actual game. To me, it seems a bit more unpredictable than FPL, which is a good thing. I'm sure I'll be happy to get back to my FPL though. As far as Fantasy I Team, I don't like the fact I have free transfers once the game week has started, because I find myself making mistakes and making decisions too early or forgetting to make a change when I see a team sheet. So I kind of don't like having free transfers to use during a round. So yeah. But I get why they've done it, because otherwise you've only got a very small period to make transfers. Jeff Holt doing I think that is back to Nimfria. Harry Doherty, I think that's how you say it, had 3 players from Spain. Yeah, I think I had 2. So not as bad as you, but yes, it's painful. I have Cavani maximum captain though. Nice. That could save you. Casemiro as well. That could be a decent shout. So what I'm going to do is, we did it for defenders, so while we wait for some more questions, of course, do leave them in the chat. Also, check out the links in the description. If you want to support the channel in any way, there should also be a link in the description for the FPL Wildcat channel. We should be streaming tomorrow. As far as, well, we'll now move on to, I'm getting used to this mouse as well, because there's 2 wheels. So yeah, complicated. We are looking at midfielders now. As far as goals scored for midfielders, Cheryshev is on 3, but again, he was dropped today. He did come on as a sub though. Coutinho's on 2, definitely a good look. Hazard's on 2, but he's a forward in the game, so need to remember that. Modric is on 2 if they go through today. You've got Eriksen's on 1, Shaqiri's on 1. A lot of players on 1. We won't go too far into that list. Total attempts, Coutinho has had 12. That's the most of any midfielder still in the tournament. Forsberg has had 11, which is decent. I'm saying a lot. I can feel myself doing it. Cheryshev has had 10. Isco has had 9. He's out though, so no need to say his name. Eriksen, Shaqiri on 9 apiece. Those are the ones that kind of stand out as far as midfielders still in for total attempts. We've then got big chances total. Hazard, again a forward, so ignore that. Desmaili has had 3 big chances. He could still be in the tournament. Cheryshev with 2. Lingard with 2. Klaassen from Sweden with 2. Paulinho with 2. Kagawa with 2 if Japan stay in. Those are the ones standing out there. Shots on target. Cheryshev with 5. You've got Coutinho on 4. Eriksen on 4 if they stay in. Carrasco on 4. A very cheap way into the Belgian midfield. Desmaili's on 3 as well. And Jung Woo Young, no, he's out. He's Korean. Quite racist of me. I thought he was Japanese when I read the name. Then I saw the flag next to his name. So those are the midfielders with decent goal threat. As far as who could be getting assists from those midfielders, we have Klaassen on 2 assists. Golovin on 2 assists. Quintero on 2. Rodriguez on 2. Carlos Sanchez from Uruguay on 2. Tillemans on 2, but he's unlikely to play, or he'd come on as a sub. He played the majority of his minutes in the game against England. Chances created, we've got Coutinho on 10 chances created. We've got De Bruyne on 8 chances created. We have Klaassen on 6. Carlos Sanchez from Uruguay on 6. Shaqiri is also on 6. Modric on 6 if they go through. And that is it for chances created. And then big chance created, De Bruyne and Quintero on 3 apiece. Sounded like Sisto almost did something good. Klaassen on 2 big chance created, Golovin on 2. The Arrasqueta on 2 big chances. Nice to see that name come up. James Rodriguez on 2 big chances created as well. So those are the midfielders we should ideally be looking at. And then as far as goal threat for forwards, we have Kane on 5 goals at the moment. So if you've got Kane or Lukaku in your sides, you'll be very happy. Lukaku on 4. Cavani now on 3, but it looks like he's out of the tournament. Daizuba on 3. That's the cheap strike he could bring in. Mbappe on 3. Great game against Argentina. Griezmann is on 2. Suarez is on 2. As far as attempts goes, you've got Cavani on 16. Again, he could be injured. Neymar on 16, still to play his round of 16 game. We have Griezmann on 12, Suarez on 12, Marcus Berg on 10. And then you've got Lozano on 8, Vela on 8. So some options there. Big chances in total. Batshuayi actually still has the most big chances in the tournament so far with 5. Suarez with 4, Kane with 4, Lukaku with 4. Ronaldo is out, of course. Cavani injury, but was on 3. Griezmann on 3, Berg on 3, Osako on 3 if Japan go through, Daizuba on 3, Mbappe on 3, and Falcao on 3. And on target, Neymar has had the most shots on target with strikers still in the game. Cavani is still up there, but of course is not an option now. Griezmann on 7, Suarez on 5, Kane on 5, Berg on 5, and Mbappe on 5. And that is it as far as strikers that are still in the game. If we're bothered about our strikers getting assists as well, is there anyone that stands out above the rest? Giroud has 2 assists. Jesus has 1. Daizuba has 1 on top of his goals scored. Javier Hernandez and Lozano both have an assist each. Neymar has an assist as well. As far as chances created, Neymar is top with 11. Vela has 8 chances created. Giroud with 6. Suarez with 6. Javier Hernandez, Lozano with 5 apiece. But plenty of players out. Osaka has had 5 chances created as well from Japan. Big chance created. You've got Neymar on 2, Suarez on 2, and Cavani on 2. So that is it really for us strikers that are creating chances. So those would be the players I'll be looking to bring in for the next round of fixtures. Jeff Holt, would you consider a Uruguay World Cup winning upset at this stage? You know what, having seen their defence, I would have to say no, because their defence has been pretty impressive. And then they do have, well, they had 2 world-class strikers. Looks like Cavani's out now. If they beat France, I definitely think they're in with a good chance. Right now, maybe I'd still consider it a slight upset, but I do like their chances if one of the big teams doesn't go out and win the tournament. I think Uruguay could be the ones to go and do it. What has been my favourite game to watch so far? It probably has to be Portugal-Spain right at the beginning. Unfortunately, I fell asleep for the France versus Argentina game because we'd been out shopping. I'd got up early with the kid at about 6 o'clock. We got home, we had a drink for the first half. I fell asleep for the second half, which is fantastic. So that France-Argentina might have been the one. Really did enjoy Uruguay-Portugal. Enjoyed, of course, England winning 6-1, but it was Panama. So after we'd got to a certain amount ahead, it kind of, I wasn't bothered anymore. It wasn't like it was shocking me. So I think Portugal-Spain probably is still my favourite game. Harry Doherty's team, we've got Courtois, Alderweireld, PK needs to be changed, Godin, Casemiro, Coutinho, Isco, Modric, Kane, Cavani and Costa. I think you're looking at a pretty decent side. You need to get rid of Costa, of course. Cavani you may need to get rid of. Modric, you're probably hoping stays in the tournament. PK needs to go. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I think you've got points to come. John Narty had Griezmann, Mbappe and Pogba. Nice. Very nice. With Lukaku as well. You are doing well for yourself, man. You are doing well for yourself. And you know what? I mean, I've pretty much covered anything that's been asked of me. I don't have content ready for these times when there is nothing to say. I do, of course, want to kind of stay online with you guys while the penalty shootout happens. How far away is the penalty shootout? They're on the 22nd minute, so if you do have any questions, make sure to put them in the chat right now. Not really. I suppose I could cover what my strategy is for the rest of the game. Without a wild card to play, which I kind of wish I still had now, but of course I did get 78 points the week I played my wild card. Maximum captain may get used the next round, may get used when there's less games as well. Potentially semi-finals, maybe where I play maximum captain, or maybe I play it in the final just for that last big boost of points. That's the only thing I really have left to play. As far as transfers, I kind of think I'm going to go France, Brazil, and England potentially as my picks if those three sides go through. It looks like there's a penalty to Croatia. I've not got it on ITV Player yet, but I've got it on my phone, so I should be able to see this in a minute. Kramovic is through and gets hacked from behind. That is a penalty. If he got contact, that is a clear penalty. So here we go. Is Modric taking the penalty? I believe this counts in the game. I believe extra time counts. I'm not 100% though. Harry Dotsey says it's coming home. I can feel it. Pen to Croatia. Everyone reacting there. Was it Modric assist coming? That's annoying if he doesn't take the penalty. Do the points count in extra time? I've forgotten, to be honest. Don't really get this in league tournament. So it goes around Schmeichel. Schmeichel kind of does the splits. Goes from behind, catches his legs through the middle of them. So penalty here could decide it and stop a penalty shootout. You guys are going to see it before me, so I'm not going to look at the chat while this happens. Interesting times, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting times. He has to, because he would have scored otherwise. Apparently Schmeichel saves it. Oh, wow. Jeez. Well, that's annoying if Modric would have got the penalty points. Jeez, I definitely need to pour myself another drink now. Definitely, boys. Who's got Schmeichel in their side? Because if you get penalty save for that, that's some big points for you right there. How bad is this penalty? Let's have a look at it. Oh, wow. Schmeichel read that early. Schmeichel read that well early. And Peter Schmeichel is ecstatic. My cousin's actually from Denmark, so he's probably going nuts. He's not from Denmark. He was born here, but he lives in Denmark now. Schmeichel tricked him. Well played, Schmeichel. What a save. So it looks like it's going to go penalty shootout. I mean, I've got Modric, so that's annoying. Denmark score now. Modric goes from 0 to 0 real quick. Anyway, let's see what the chat was saying when that happened. Can't get points in extra time, then that doesn't matter. If you can't get points in extra time, then all of that doesn't matter. If you can get points in extra time, then that was big for people. As far as my phone is saying, extra time still counts. So, well done, Nymphrea. Nymphrea killing it in World Cup fantasy football if she gets those points. And to think in the stream before the World Cup started, she was saying she didn't know what she was doing. I'm pretty sure she's going to beat all of the rest of the FPL Wildcats, so... I suppose we could call it beginner's luck, but I'd rather say you just pick better players and leave it at that. I mean, who would I prefer to play? I probably would prefer to play Denmark. I think Denmark have Eriksen. After Eriksen, I don't see anyone that like stands out as world class. Schmeichel, clearly good keeper. But Croatia, Rakitic, Mandzukic, Modric. I feel like Croatia have a stronger side. But this is the World Cup. It's all about performances on the day. It's all about the squad. Russia have just beaten Spain. So it's definitely not just about the kind of good players you have. Denmark are definitely defending for their lives now. They've gone quite deep. Modric with a shot from distance. It's timid. It's timid. Well, John Narty with Griezmann, Mbappe and Pogba, you're laughing. Isco needs to be changed. Free Spanish isn't good for you, Nim. But to be honest, I think this is a low-scoring like round. So I think points like Schmeichel's right now could be massive for you. Could be absolutely huge for you. Imagine Akinfeev got like 2 penalty saves. If the penalty shootout counted, imagine like penalty saves would be massive. You'd be wanting the sides to get a 0-0 draw and then your keeper gets penalty saves. Clean sheet and penalty saves. Oh, Kramaric over the bar. Looks like we've got another game with penalties. Yeah, well, Nim, I'm not happy then because Modric doesn't get me points. In fact, I played bench boost and Modric may lose me points. He's on 0 points right now. I've lost points in this round. It's a cruel game, this World Cup fantasy football. I'd say it's even crueler than FPL, but I'm not sure it is. I think it's just crueler, quicker. Just hits you hard and fast. Whereas FPL can sometimes be a bit of a trudge if you're doing badly. Trudge, is that a word? Well, I didn't think I'd be watching 2 penalty shootouts in one day. By the way, apologies guys, I'm going to ignore the chat for the penalty shootout because I don't want it spoiled for me. I'm going to also turn off my Twitter notifications, which I also did for the Spain game as well. Although a friend of mine called Aaron, if he watches this, did decide to message me saying Spain are out before Aspas took his penalty. So that was a bit annoying. I say a bit, it was very annoying. But well, that's life. He'll probably do the same this time as well. But where is Twitter? Turn off notifications. What I need to do is, if I ever do become a big YouTuber, I will get a room where I have like Virgin or Sky in the room as well. So I can see stuff more up to date, because I am seeing it late. Nim, I think Schmeichel's points will be more than the points you lost with Modric, though, which is good. By the way, while we're waiting for penalties, all 6 of you, that's not a lot, but go subscribe to the FPL Wildcats channel. Go do it now. I suppose I've got a video out of this now. You've got my reactions to the penalties. I can make a video out of that. That could actually be a video that has some longevity and isn't out of date really quickly. Oh my god, epic World Cup penalties, Croatia-Denmark. I am going to tweet out, say come watch penalties with JNO, although you'll see him slightly earlier than JNO will. I think then for the next round, it's probably better if Croatia lose then. Because if you only got 1 Croatian and 2 Denmark players, I think the numbers would definitely be a massive help going into the next round. Because I think some people are going to have to take the -4s. Ah, Harry Doherty with the last-minute transfer getting 9 points. Nice. I mean, I'm hoping Sommer does something fantastic. Is it tomorrow? Is it the day after? I think it's Tuesday. If he does, then I won't be angry I didn't put Schmeichel in. Harry, if Sweden go through, I think that's a good shout. A lot of the big players having moments in this tournament where they don't really get the job done, aren't they? Is that Patrick Evra, the player that the commentator that claps and doesn't understand why that might be seen as a bit demeaning when he did it to the female pundit? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're about to start the second penalty shootout of the day. By the way, if you are new to the stream or the channel, please make sure to subscribe. We do FPL content, so mainly FPL content, but we're doing some World Cup fantasy, and we just happen to be live streaming whilst the Croatia-Denmark game is on and has gone to penalties after Kasper Schmeichel has already just saved a penalty in extra time to make sure it goes to penalties. So we have, looks like, Croatia in goal first, Denmark taking the first penalty. Number 10, that is Eriksson, taking that long walk. Apologies to the stream if I don't answer anything until the end of this penalty shootout. We've got it big screen now. Hopefully nothing bad happens while I'm so focused on the game. I wonder if Modric takes the first penalty after he missed. I see Eriksson putting this one away, surely. Come on, Christian Eriksen. Probably a decent shout and lock into my team at the beginning. Actually, depends how far Denmark go. If Denmark go far in the World Cup, he may get rested for the first game of the season. He looks Looks like he's going to score it to me. My guess is he's going to score it. Then I'd have thought Modric would have scored. It's missed. It's the post. Was it saved? Wow. Modric and Eriksen both missing penalties. See, the commentators say it didn't feel right. I thought he was going to score. I've got a mark on my screen. I don't know what's that from. Probably my kid. So, someone from Fiorentina. Is that Milan? But I can't say his name. I'm not good at pronunciation. But Schmeichel saved one today already. Can he save another one? Oh, wow. That was not a good penalty. 2 saves. That's 3 penalties saved in a row now. Modric during the game, extra time. That wasn't a good penalty. That only goes in if Schmeichel doesn't dive the right way. Peter Schmeichel's really proud of his son at the moment. FPL Nymphria, you don't get the points for that save. I'm pretty sure of that. Okay, who's stepping up for Denmark now? I feel like both teams are feeling the pressure. Now that 3 penalties have been saved in a row, I feel like the pressure is really on any player that steps up now. Who is this guy anyway? I wish they'd say the players' names a bit more. Oh, wow. Wow, that was a good penalty. That was a cracker. Who is he? He should have taken the first penalty. No keeper saving that. He smashed that. It's the GoPro. I know it's not. It's probably not GoPro, but you know what I mean. Those of you that watch YouTube football videos. Okay, so I think this is Kramaric stepping up. Apologies if I'm wrong. Okay, Schmeichel's not happy with that. It's gone in. Is it Rebic? But it's gone in. But Schmeichel, I don't think was happy with the run-up. But, I mean, Schmeichel was so far off his line. To be honest, I'm not sure his forward movement stopped there. So, I would probably... Michael Cromdelli. I heard the player's name this time. I would say that should stand, that one. I don't think his forward momentum stopped. And I think Schmeichel committed early. And then whoever that player was could just slot it away. So we are on to the third penalties now. Michael Cronendelli is stepping up. And it's a good penalty right into the corner, bottom corner. Good penalty. Sends the keeper the wrong way. Oh, Modric stepping up. Oh, big moment. Big moment. Can he redeem himself? Is he going to go the same way? Oh, down the middle. Down the middle. Schmeichel's legs almost stayed there and got that, but I think that was actually probably a really clever decision. Oh, Schmeichel's leg was so close. But I think that was a good decision. I think he knew Schmeichel was going to commit, so he hit it down the middle. So it's 2 apiece. 1 penalty missed each at the beginning, and they've scored. Both teams scored their second and their third. Is a keeper going to be a hero like Akinfeev? Here we go. Short run up. Saved by Subasic. I was going to say, I don't like short run ups. Oh, Schmeichel, your turn, boy. Your turn. If we see both keepers save 2 penalties each, this is great goalkeeping. Maybe not the best penalties, but great goalkeeping. Okay, I heard Dynamo Kiev there. I didn't hear the player. That's a extremely straight run up. What's that run up? Oh, he's gone to the side. Oh, Schmeichel saved it as well. Wow. Wow. I'm glad I'm not a Croatia or Denmark fan right now, because I'd be so stressed. I'd be so stressed. Okay, this penalty is huge for Denmark. Nikolai Jorgensen, if he scores this, all the pressure is on the Croatian player. To be honest, the pressure's on the Croatian player no matter what. Because if this goes in, he has to score. If this doesn't go in, he could win the game. Pressure in both situations. Some of the fans aren't even looking. Ah, saved by Subasic. Oh, down the middle, the feet were there. If you go down the middle, just lift it a bit. Then the feet aren't there. Oh, it's too. If it was right down the middle, it would have probably still gone in. Oh, the Croatian defender now. Or, sorry, player. Is it Rakitic stepping up? It is. This is the type of player you want to be taking your last penalty, I feel. Technique is great. He should be able to put this wherever he wants. This is a good pick for your 5th player if it goes to the 5th penalty. Bit of a short run up. Is he going to put it away? Croatia for the win. Great penalty. Croatia are through. That was tense. That was a tense affair. That was a very cool penalty for the last penalty. Very cool. Almost makes me think they should have just let Rakitic take the penalty in extra time. Because then it might not have had to go through that stressful moment. I was stressed. I don't even support either side. I probably, no offense Croatian fans, probably would have preferred Denmark to go through. Purely because I've been to Denmark. I have a relative that lives in Denmark. But Croatia win 3-2 on penalties. This could be that boost they need, that moment where they're not sure if they go through and they do go through. This could be the moment that kind of kicks them into high gear for the rest of the tournament. So well played, Croatia. I do feel bad for Schmeichel and his heroics. Kasper Schmeichel, great game. Kept them in it to go to penalties and then matched Subasic until the last one, the 5th penalty. So definitely feel for Kasper Schmeichel. Peter Schmeichel looks absolutely dejected. But great performance, great fight by Denmark. Just I think Croatia had the more experience and class and high pressure, experience in high pressure situations in class for this sort of penalty shootout. So yeah, great performance by both teams, to be fair. Just, this is what we watch the World Cup for, isn't it? This is what we watch the World Cup for. Stuff like this, tense moments, great goals. I actually think this has been a fantastic World Cup so far. Absolutely fantastic. and we will return to the chat now, which I've been neglecting. I don't know how many people have been watching. There hasn't been much in the chat. Sommer was the keeper you transferred out, Harry. Well, he's the keeper I'm hoping does something, so you know. Anyway, guys, that was tense, wasn't it? And I think we're probably going to call it there, because the chat has pretty much died a death. No offence, Nymphria and Harry. I love you guys. I love chatting to you guys. But it seems like you're the only two still actually chatting. Ah, TP's still around. Gutted for Schmeichel again. Yeah, I'm gutted for Schmeichel as well. You know what? Subasic did very well as well, though, Harry. But, yeah, I feel really bad for Schmeichel. I feel gutted for Schmeichel. Because he got his team to that penalty shootout. He then matched Subasic for the two that Subasic... Tongue-tied over that. He matched Subasic for the two that Subasic saved. But, yeah, Schmeichel probably deserved better than that. But to be fair, I didn't watch the whole game because I was, of course, setting up for this stream. But at the end, Croatia won. They did win, so... Anyway, Kasper Schmeichel owners still get that penalty save, though. Anyway, guys, I am going to call it there. And I know it's probably defeats the purpose of this, because if I don't call it now and share out the stream, I might actually get a few more viewers. TP made a fan account for Shaqiri. Feel free to put it in the chat so people can go and follow that on Instagram. But yeah, great game. Great end to the game. Very tense affair. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream. It's much appreciated. If you do want to support the channel in any way, various links in the description down below. We've also got the FPL Wildcats channel going live tomorrow. I may be in a very good mood if Brazil go through. I may be in a very bad mood. But we will still be streaming. We're hoping to have the whole crew there. So, you know. How often do you go live, Harry? I go live during the Premier League season every week. Guaranteed. Maybe even twice a week. And we do a lot of videos as well during the season. As you can see, if you check my channel out, we did a lot of videos before the World Cup started for the World Cup fantasy game. But it's been very difficult to do videos during. So, Harry, thank you so much for joining the stream, mate. If you enjoyed the content and want to join the other streams, feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I'm live. Next stream is tomorrow on the FPL Wildcats channel. But as far as this channel goes, Wednesday I could possibly try. But it depends if my wife is playing darts or not. If my wife is playing darts, I can't stream on Wednesday. And if she is playing darts, the next time I'll be able to stream maybe Friday. But I've got a wedding Saturday, so I may be busy. Can't do it Saturday night. Potentially Sunday night, depends what my Monday shift is. If my Monday shift is a late, then could do Sunday night. So hopefully Wednesday, Sunday. If not, next week, Monday, Tuesday. But I don't have my rota for the week after the one just come in, so. Shaqiri's hips don't lie. You should definitely send that Instagram account to Nymphria. The Asian Gamer, bit late to the stream. Do I have a side job? I have a job. This is probably my side job. I do not do this full time. I would love to. I would love to do this full time. That is the goal. I've never lied about that. My goal is for this to be my job one day. But yeah, right now it's a side job. In fact, I probably made more doing a paper round when I was a teenager than I get on this channel right now. So I know people look at it. Some months I do amazing. Some months I get a decent amount. But some months I could have done a paper round and earned more. But I love doing it. I love the community I've got. And yeah, so if it ever became my job, that'd be fantastic. TP is coming home. I will join you in those It's coming homes if we beat Colombia. That's what I need to see. If England beat Colombia, and if the likes of Lingard, Loftus-Cheek. I think Loftus-Cheek has probably fought his way into the side. Trippier, Kane. If they perform against Colombia, I will start saying it's coming home every day on Twitter. Yeah, I thought so. To be honest, I think streaming during the game is never a great idea, but I can't stream too late because I have a newborn kid, and the game went to extra time, so I had no choice because I knew I could stream today. So yeah, hopefully for the FPL Wildcat channel, the game won't go Belgium-Japan. I don't see going penalties. That would really hurt. Like, it hurts views. Is Fagner starting for Brazil? I don't know yet, Savile. My guess would be yes, because he seems to have been favoured in the fixtures recently over Danilo. So I would say, if I was to guess, I'd say yes, he is. But anyway, guys, just as the chat is starting to heat up, I have to go. So thank you guys so much for joining the stream. If you want to be involved in the next streams we do, make sure to hit that notification bell and that subscribe button, because apparently subscribe button isn't enough to be guaranteed you're told about my streams. Also, check out all the links in the description. Harry Doherty thinks we'll beat Colombia 3-1. I would love that result. I would love it a lot. Also, you can, of course, become a sponsor of the stream. We do have one sponsor of the stream, so you could join him if you wish to. You don't have to. Any support is greatly appreciated. I've been JNO. This has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.